You're watching Teng Tools Muscle Garage, the home of New Zealand's toughest muscle cars, hot rods and street machines. Muscle Garage is proudly brought to you by Teng Tools in association with Mount Shop, Maguire's and Nitro. Coming up, atrocious weather sinks the Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro funny car's first venture onto New Zealand tarmac. We find out what we missed, and a Southern Brothers shed raid with an American graffiti twist. First up though, thanks to Maguire's, we're off to check out Paul Manuell's Chev Impala. A 64 Vert, the only street car that could possibly distract him from the racetrack.
Look at it. They are the coolest cars, I'm sorry. Mind you, everyone says that about their car. I know that. It's like kids, isn't it? Everyone thinks their kids are awesome. Which mine are. But yeah, I mean, it's just a shape for me. I love that. I do love the 50s with wings and that as well, but there's something about that 64. It's just a cool, tough car. And with a last name like Manuell, it's very Mexican, very gangster. So I love the old cars, the old shapes, and appreciate, you know, the thick metal. Drove from there. I mean, my background is motocross, and I got sick of busting myself up and sort of went into cars, and that's how I started motorsport, really.
And motorsport, well, that's been a big part of Paul's life.
25 years actually. Yeah, it has. It started off as a hobby, and it ended up as a hobby gone wrong, really. So yeah, here we are 25 years later and still racing. So.
And this is what happens when a racer builds a cruiser. The Drop Top 64 had long been a car in Paul's sights, and a betting man would put money on the big Chev always being destined to pack a bit more punch over the factory's attempt. But Paul would perhaps seal the Impala's fate by buying into the worst starting point.
Always wanted a 64, always wanted a convertible, and it wasn't until I sold out a percentage of my business that I could then turn around and get one. So I, you know, bit the bullet and found one and bought it. It was an eBay disaster. Found it on eBay and got it checked out over there. And do you want me to tell you the rest of the story? I should have given it to my mate Clark Proctor at Middleman and squashed it and got a couple of trays of beer for it, to be fair. The chassis was good. I was all excited about it when it came in the country. It was black. The interior was as it is. The wheels were on it, and that's what kind of sold me. I was like a bit of a magpie, you know, shiny things were on it, and yep, that's me. I got had with the pre-purchase check over in the States, and yeah, they must have seen the dumb Kiwi and thought, right, well, we'll get this one. I was so excited when it got off the tow truck when it got to the workshop, and we put it up on the hoist. I called the certifier guy to certify it, and put it up on the hoist, and it was paper mache'd up. It had real estate signs in it. It was a horror show. It was one of those yeah, splash and dash ones, that's for sure. So the work began, and we pulled the body off, and I had a full-time panel beater here in this shed, doing it for, you know, doing our race stuff as well at the same time. But yeah, just full-time working on this thing and making panels. A lot of panels you can't get for the convertible anymore, and it was a life sentence. It really was. So yeah, it's a long saga, a long story, and I probably would have been better off to scrap it and start again. But hey, here we are, and you know, there's a lot of history with the thing now, so it's a good thing.
Ridding the Impala of the rot was no quick fix. The car in need of new quarters, sills, floors, trunk, and that's just to start. It would be 12 months before the 64 even resembled a car again. But this gave Paul and his team at Eastern Automotive Performance Centre time to scheme a better fit for that small block-sized hole up front.
It's a new car. That's the good thing about it now. It is a brand new car. So then we went from the 350 that was in it to going to LS3. So it just changed the direction of the car. That rather than just a good cruiser with an old school engine, it's a very cool cruiser with a late model running gear and super reliable, and everything's done properly and right. So yeah, it took a long time, but the end result is something pretty special that's going to last a long time.
The 6.3-litre LS3 got a once-over, including a custom cam, bigger throttle body, and a set of trick 1-inch headers, while an altitude adjustment was also deemed in order. A custom air install, dropping the big Chevy over the Foose rolling stock at the flick of a switch.
Good power. It's sort of 650 horse, but it's a heavy car, so it's just a cruiser. The air ride is a good suspension setup, and you can just set your ride height, whether you're on the motorway or country roads or whatever, and it's very nice to ride in, absolutely. Yep. It's a big effort to do a car like this and to do it properly. It's a massive task, and I guess the thing that would put me off is a starting platform. You've got to have that right platform at the beginning. I didn't have the right platform for this car. Like I say, the chassis was good, the interior was good, but that was it. So yeah, any advice out there to anyone who's going to do it again? Don't start if the thing's a rusty pig, because it's not a pretty thing.
Right, shed raid time now. Thanks to our mates at Mount Shop, we're off to check out a Southern collection with an American graffiti twist.
We're in Balclutha, just in the bottom of the South Island. This is our workshop, me and my brothers. We bought this building been in this building nearly 30 years now, and we just been storing cars, building hot rods and drinking beer. So yeah, it's what we do. Our family's been in it for a long time, and I've got 3 other brothers, and they're all into hot rods, all into cars. So yeah, it is a family affair, right? Yep.
We enjoy each other's company and that, and yeah, we sort of feed off each other and ideas, and yeah, we all got the same sort of interests and that. So yeah, we're right into collecting and building cars. So yeah, that's the name of the game.
Probably goes right back to my dad. My dad was into cars in the States. We originally came from the States, our family. We moved here in the early 70s.
He enjoyed his NASCAR, stock cars and that. Brought the I guess the car nut thing with him.
Yeah, just loved building cars and racing them and showing them, yeah.
What a difference one wall makes. On one side, a treasure hunter's paradise and build area, whereas on the other, it's all about presentation. Museum might be a better description.
So much here I've actually forgotten half of what I actually have. Sometimes you'll be going through a box looking for something and you come across something you're looking for 2 years ago. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff here, and I've lost track of it basically. We used to just have the back workshop, and the front ones were rented out to other people. And basically once they sort of wound up their business or decided to move on, one of them, we had hairdressers, basically they wanted to move on to the main street, so we just said thanks very much, and we took the rest of the building over. So yeah, because we needed more room to expand. We got a lot of the stuff prior to Trade Me and things like that. A lot of it's been given to us. People have heard that we've got a bit of a museum, so friends and people around the country have actually just given me stuff to put into the museum. And yeah, just other bits and pieces we just picked up at swap meets.
You know, you see something, man, yeah, I'd love to have that. A lot of the stuff that we've got here, people were throwing out, and they're like, oh, that looks too good to be thrown out, and they'll tell you it's a load of old junk and that, but no, we just squirreled it away, and get quite a few people looking through and they say, oh, geez, I remember having something like that, and we buried it, or threw it away, or we gave it away, or it's quite incredible really. Sometimes it brings a tear to your eye to know that some of the stuff's been thrown away and it could have been saved in somewhere like this.
And while the brothers clearly have a nose for tracking down all things old school cool, they also each have their own inclinations.
I'm into the old flatheads, the old V8 motors. So I picked a lot of them up because people didn't want them. They were throwing them out of their workshops, their garages, because no one wanted them, and I just had to go around and pick them up.
I've actually got a fair collection of the old 272 boat anchor motors and that. Once again, people were throwing them out. No, we don't need these old heavy old motors and that. We're going to get to the more modern stuff. So I said, oh, I'll take that.
Yeah, anything old, I just collect old stuff, old petrol pumps, and I don't like restoring things. I like actually taking the things are how they were, how they came out the shed, and just put them on the shelf. Yeah, a lot of people restore them, and I just don't like doing that. I'd rather see all the dirt and the cobwebs all still on it.
Decades on, but still the hobby's hero flick, American Graffiti asked the question, where were you in '62? Well, they may have missed the premiere screening, but these brothers have spent a fair chunk of the time since making up for it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I hooked on that movie a long time ago, and when I was at school, and I always wanted to build a American Graffiti car, and I actually built the one behind me. I started with the intake manifold, and then that was the first thing I bought with my first paycheck, and then the rest of it I just built around it. I don't know how many times I've watched it. We can actually, sometimes at hot rod runs, people get us to actually recite the lines. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, we know it back to back. Yeah, it's as close as I could get it. Apart from being right-hand drive, it's pretty close. Yeah, it's got the right 327 motor in it, the right wheels, the right paint, even the correct colour of paint. A friend of mine painted it for me, and we actually researched and got the correct colour. So yeah, it's pretty close. Yeah.
And the obvious question?
I usually get the jump on him, but I can usually beat the 55, no problem. Yeah, he's got a bit more horsepower than me, but I can usually beat him. Yeah, it's good that we all sort of pitch together, and we all save as much as we can, and it's now paying dividends. People are interested and they want to come and see what you're doing, and it's good that they enjoy as much as we are now too. So it's good. Yeah, there's hoarders, and then there's people that actually show the stuff. So that's what we do. Yeah, we don't mind showing people around if they want to come and have a look. Yep.
Amazing results, even at full sight.
You're back with Teng Tools Muscle Garage, proudly brought to you by Teng Tools, in association with Mount Shop, Maguire's and Nitro. Right, thanks to Nitro, it's time to talk Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro funny cars, the hugely popular Australian drag racing series that bit the bullet and loaded up a boat for our shores. And yes, all that effort only for Mother Nature to rain the event out, not once, but twice. Despite the gloomy forecast, there were great signs early though, with a strong turnout of public and also support classes, which snuck a few passes in before the weather would ultimately get its way. The New Zealand crowd would only experience just a taste of the Nitro series thanks to a crowd salute, a fire up en masse. We thought we'd better find out what all the fuss was about back home, starting with one of our own, Kiwi Series manager Maurice McMillan.
It's 2020 cricket and drag racing. It's not 4 days long, it's short, it's exciting, the families come, the crowds come, and you put on a good show and keep everyone happy.
It's explosive, it's fast, accelerating and heart pumping.
You've got to be here to see it, watch it, smell it, taste it. Sitting on the inside, you can't explain what it's like. It's just the wildest roller coaster, the wildest car drive you've ever had. Throw it all into one, it's like a party.
0 to 100 kilometres an hour, under 1 second. 0 to 300 kilometres an hour in about 3.5, and they'll go through the finish line in 5.5 seconds at over 400 kilometres an hour. So they're making about 4,000 horsepower, and to drive these things is nuts. You know, 0 to 100 Ks, you're just pinned back in the seat from the moment you hit the throttle. The thing's trying to go left, it's trying to go right, you're fighting it, you're getting down there. Once you've done the quarter mile in 5.5 seconds, all of a sudden you've got to stop the thing. You know, you're going, yeah, let's go, let's go, let's go. Oh, I've got to stop now. And then all of a sudden, all your effort's into stopping. So, yeah, no, it's an unreal feeling to drive, and I'm just lucky to get the chance, to be honest.
Oh, it's exhilarating behind the wheel, you know. The pounding of the motor, it just really gets your heart going. It's funny because you don't really breathe throughout the run, but once you get down the bottom end, you're just like, okay, we're over and done with, and then you're just on an adrenaline high, you know. You just can't wait to jump back in.
While we're yet to fully appreciate just what these cars are capable of on Medi-Medi's quarter mile, you can't say it was for lack of trying. Back home in Australia's sunnier skies, the series has proved incredibly popular with 6 events across the country and a 14-strong field, including a couple of wheel standers. Series founders Graham and Wendy Cowan owning and maintaining a fair chunk of them.
You'll notice every car has a name. It's not just a sponsor's name, it's got a name, it's got a character. People have got a character to follow, and you know that allows people to enjoy what we're doing because, you know, they like the One Bad Kiwi, they like Dark Horse, or the kids love the Bumblebee, and that's what it's all about, is getting everyone involved and getting a little following of that car.
The car's liveries are also important. As to the casual spectator, the bodies aren't always easily recognisable. That's not by chance. There's a number of rules to keep racing tight. 671 blowers, 500 cubes or less, and bodies 2002 or earlier.
Chrome ollie, tube chassis, 125-inch wheelbase, composite body, sometimes fiberglass, sometimes carbon fibre. They're powered by a Hemi engine. Predominantly, they're all about 413 cubic inches. Got a 671 supercharger on them. Run nitro methane with a percentage of about 92% nitro, 8% methanol. Just basically little volatile bombs.
In normal supercharged alcohol engines, you know, you're breaching probably 200 mile an hour at the finish line. These cars will do that at half track. That's how much faster these cars are. So it's seriously explosive. You know, the cars make over 4,000 horsepower, and it's purely because of the nitro methane. You know, if we were to run these cars on alcohol, you'd be looking at about 1,500 horsepower. That's how much difference the nitro methane makes.
Depending on how you go on the run, if you don't hurt any parts, we'll come back, we'll pull the rocker covers off, we'll check the lash on the engine first of all. If nothing's moved and stretched, it's a good sign you haven't hurt anything. You'll view the spark plugs. If it's burnt any spark plugs, you know you've done something wrong with the tune-up. That then can mean cylinder heads off, change pistons, change rods. We zero the clutch, so it's got a centrifugal clutch in it. So on each run down the track, it wears clutch away, so you've got to zero that pack to get it back to where you started. On a good run, general maintenance. On a bad run, you'll see us thrashing 5 blokes, 45 minutes, we rebuild the whole engine.
That quick turnaround due to the series' #1 priority, to be a genuine spectator sport, a situation in where hours between rounds wouldn't cut it.
You know, we make sure every round, every car comes back out. If you lose, you don't go home. No one wants to turn up and their favourite car loses and they go home. Each car comes back out, the crowd gets to see every car do 3 runs. You know, it's about the excitement, it's about the people on the stands enjoying drag racing again and finishing the event and going, man, that was cool, let's go again.
No testing, no time trials, no nothing, just straight into racing, 3 rounds, and the one with the most points at the end of the night gets the Rocket Trophy.
But not everyone is shooting for 5s.
It has been the most challenging driving I've ever had to learn how to do. I've driven low 7-second blow-on dragsters and low 7-second altereds that are sort of, yeah, they're fast, they get your attention. But this thing, it's a couple of seconds slower, but man, oh man, you're driving the wheels off it when you're having a crack at it. Mate, the engine is a blown 540 cube big block Chev. Still makes about 1100 horsepower. It's got plenty of power on tap. Driving these cars is a balancing act. It's a real finicky thing. Throttle percentage plays a massive part on it, getting it up onto the back wheels. It is really a balancing act. You are driving using every sense in your body. You feel every bump, you steer it with your right hand, pull it back to turn it right, push it forward to turn left. Sounds really simple, but when you're looking through the floor with next to no vision, it's good fun. We're not supposed to be going out there to win, but we secretly, deep down, we're still going for a win.
And yep, as we know, the abysmal weather thoroughly spoiled the party for the Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny Car's first Trans-Tasman venture. We've just had a teaser, and we and the large and soggy Medi crowd would love nothing more than to see another future attempt. While we'll have to wait and see how that one plays out, with New Zealand born and raised Maurice McMillan as series manager, not to mention a few other Kiwis snuck into the mix, we're pretty sure they'll be keen to show us here what it's all about firsthand too.
This is unbelievable. I'm actually a Kiwi. Moved to Australia when I was 5, been over there for 30 odd years, been around drag racing in Australia for over 20 years. I grew up with a picture of Graham Cowan and his rocket ship dragster on my wall as a kid. Now I'm here, part of his show. This is unbelievable. It's such an honour.
Every week, we're giving our viewers the chance to win a Teng Tools and Maguire's gift pack worth $250. Simply go to themotorhood.com and follow the Teng Tools Muscle Garage link. Plus, by entering our weekly draws, at the end of the series, one lucky viewer will win a Teng Tools 460-piece automotive toolkit, a complete Maguire's car care pack, and a $500 Mount Shop voucher. The total value of this grand prize is almost $5,000. Good luck, everyone. Teng Tools Muscle Garage was proudly brought to you by Teng Tools. Get organised. Mount Shop, undercar specialists. Maguire's, people who love cars love Maguire's. And Need a Car, the easy way to research and buy cars online.